Welcome to Far More, Colorado. I am your host, Lynn Rollins, and today I want to welcome Sandra Wagner, the AARP Foundational Senior Community Service Employment Program Director.
That's a mouthful.
That
isn't it,
is
Lynn?
a mouthful.
So thank you for this opportunity to share.
Thank you for being with us today. Yeah. And I'd like to take this time to have you just share about yourself and the program as well.
Well, I can tell you I've been in business and working with seniors most of my life. Now, don't tell anybody that I'm 73 this year.
Oh, I don't believe it.
So you can see how long I've been working. Actually, I could tell you that I started out with my father setting me up on the counter to entertain the customers. And I was about 2 years old, and I remember that. So I have a really good understanding of customer service, what it's really about. And ever since I came to Colorado 20 years ago, I'm still in shock that customer service doesn't exist the way I was trained. So I spend a lot of time working with our seniors to teach them the value of real customer service. And that's a pretty good background right there.
It is. Where are you originally from?
I'm from a little town in Meridian, Mississippi, of about 50,000 people, and that's stretching when they do the census. Anyway, they can get it up to 50,000. And so to come to Denver, Colorado was quite a change.
I guess so.
In fact, I did not even know that the salt shaker will not stick together. I did not know that you could open cereal boxes and leave them open, because the humidity down south is so different from up here.
It really is.
And I wish I'd have moved here 40 years ago instead of 20.
What do you like best about Colorado since you've been
here? I love everything, and I think I've been everywhere. I can tell you some places to go that you go, what? The Tower Museum in Genoa, Colorado? I mean, I've just been so many places. We had a 30-year-old motorhome that I drove all over the place and looked at, like, national parks and stuff like that. So I can't choose one favorite thing. What I can tell you is I love the weather.
Yes.
When I was first here, the newscaster said, "Sorry for the bad weather today." And I went, "What bad weather?" You know, it just seemed like a Mississippi overcast day to me. So I love the weather.
That is awesome. And you also love people. You shared with me. Share with me about your particular assignment here with AARP.
Well, I meet people from all over the world in here, literally. You might have someone come in our front door who's got like a third-grade education and can't speak a word of English. Or I've had an aerospace engineer come in here and actually helped either one get a job. The training starts at different levels. And so that's the most exciting thing, is to be able to evaluate what a person needs and put them into the kind of training that they need so that they can upgrade their skills.
Now, I understand you've been in this program
for a while.
For 16 years.
Yeah, I'm in my 17th year now.
Always in this position?
Yeah. And it was real funny the way it happened. I saw something in the paper, and so I applied. I didn't expect to get anything, and 2 months later, I get a phone call saying, "Come in and interview."
So tell me, with the Community Service Employment Program, who does this service?
I can tell you that AARP has been awarded to take care of nearly 10,000 people in the United States over this grant. And we have 75, now 80 sites throughout the United States and Puerto Rico. So we work with individuals 55 or older that meet the government's income guidelines for low income and live in the counties that we serve. And we serve like Denver, El Paso, Adams, you know, Arapahoe. So those are the counties we're taking care of right now.
Okay.
And we have another office down in Colorado Springs where I run about 40 people through that program.
So it is not just in Denver and Aurora. You're servicing many of the different counties.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. What motivated you to get into the field of community service?
Well, you're going to die laughing, because when it originally started, way back when, about 35 years ago, I didn't want to do anything that had anything to do with retail, because I had done that all my life. So the other option is community service, and that's how it all started. I even began to write some papers in college that talked about community service, that talked about grant writing. So that's how it all started, and it's just been growing ever since.
I used to work in the same kind of similar field, and there is such a thing as exceptional customer service, which I strong and you laugh.
Yeah.
It's going above and beyond customer service.
Right.
And I see all the beautiful awards and plaques around me in your office, and I see your love for people. I really sense that in you.
Thank
I
you.
thank you for your service. Now, you said you started on the counter at 2 years old in your dad's business.
Yes.
What was the most valuable lesson you learned from your father?
You're going to laugh. He would sit up on a little platform and say, coming in on the left, coming in on the right, before they ever opened the door and came into the office, or in that case, into the business. And so that's the most valuable thing I learned, is you can't wait till somebody gets in here. You got to go out to where they are.
And that's what AARP is
That's
doing.
right. That's
How
right.
does a senior, because this is a senior program, how do they qualify to be a part of the AARP program?
Well, there are several things that they have to do. They have to be 55, and they have to live in a county that we serve, and then they meet the government's income guidelines for low income. So let's say they don't. I cannot send people away. So what I've developed is what we call Jumpstart Your Job Search. And we don't know if they're eligible or not. If we find out they're not eligible, we still work with them. And we do that through an assessment of their skills. We do that through helping them with a resume. We do that through doing a benefits checkup to see what kind of benefits they're eligible for. And so we go from there.
Okay, that's good. And now, reading your bio, Miss Sandra,
Oh, gosh.
you stated that you have a dogged determination to helping our older citizens in Colorado. Can you tell me why you have this passion to help others?
This program is a poverty program, any way you look at it. I don't want to encourage people to stay on this program and to stay in a poverty situation. So it's very important and dogmented to get them out of this program and get them out into the real world. And if I don't do that, it's a failure.
And you don't believe in failure, do you?
No.
I know, because you don't turn anyone away.
No.
Wow. So you offer any training?
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you asked that. I don't even know where to start.
Well, you
We
take
do
your
so
time.
many different types of training. It depends on the individual. When we assign an employment specialist to one of our participants, they literally begin to evaluate at that point in time the kind of training that they need. So we develop the training program around what that person needs. We might take them out to the workforce centers and engage them in some training. We might take them out to Goodwill and engage them in some training. And we do a lot of in-house training. I do a 3-hour training on communications to help people better communicate, teach them how to bond with other people, how to sell themselves. We do computer training in our labs. So whatever the need is what we work on at that time for that individual.
Have you ever had anyone that just could not make it through this program?
Sure. For one reason,
And what was that?
they give up. You know, you can't do anything but try to motivate people, but people have to motivate themselves, and that's really just kills me when people can't understand that they have so much power over themselves. So we do a lot of ego training. We do a lot of where you are in life, where you want to be in life. So the other reason people fail is their health. You know, I've got some seniors that are taking care of their great-grandchildren, and they didn't know they were going to have to. So it's hard to try to go back to work and take care of great-grandchildren.
Yes, there are
It's
many
sad.
challenges.
It's sad.
It is sad. But I'm thankful for someone like yourself.
If you don't believe in what you're doing, get out of it.
True.
You know, so I really do believe that this is for our seniors. You ought to hear me fussing at the folks up above with our city, the things that they could do for our seniors. If you go on and you look at the website for Denver, they're not talking about just things to invite seniors here, and they need to do that. because that's a big money-making proposition.
It is.
So I've been pushing our mayor to think about that. Maybe he'll listen to me now.
Well, I know
Yeah.
that if anyone can encourage the mayor, I believe that you can. In that, what is your biggest challenge in your program?
Learning to accept individuals who have lived their life a certain way and don't know any better. I've had a gentleman say to me, well, something will come along. That's sad because he just depends on something coming along. He's got to take a hold of his life and move on. Especially when he's living with his mother, and when his mother passes away, what's he going to do? So that's just one example. That's really my biggest struggle, to help people understand that this program is so short-term, and they got to learn something from it that'll be beneficial.
How long is the program?
Well, it depends on the individual.
Everything
Like if
is
you're a third grade
individual
education,
based.
it's going to take you a lot longer because you got a lot further to come.
I understand.
If you walk in here as a aerospace engineer that's lost his job, it didn't take long. And so he actually started doing CAD kitchens for Home Depot. So that worked out nice for him.
Okay.
So it just depends on the individual.
That's good. I like that it's individual based, because all people are different. And like
Yeah.
you said, some may come in not even able to speak English like you stated. So now I'm going to quote you again from your bio. As you mentioned, and I quote, you like to set your own agenda. Your strategy, is that your strategy for getting the job done?
Yeah.
Can you share a little of that with me?
My whole life is agendas. I've just been writing another agenda for Thursday. My whole life is agendas and trying to stick to it. If you can't do that, you can't accomplish anything. So that's just my lifestyle. I've done that forever. I can't remember not doing it.
Okay.
And then anybody in here will tell you, well, she's got an agenda for it.
So you got everyone trained to understand this is the flow of Sandra Wagner, and it works.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
It works
working.
very
It's been
well.
working for over 16 years. That's wonderful. So how do seniors receive, as you said, a hand up and not a handout?
Because I don't say, oh, poor you. Oh, woe is you. You can't do that, because that's not giving people hope. That's the worst thing in the world we could do to an individual. So that's a lot of what I do. Everybody's been through a lot in their lifetime, and how do you react to it? You know, I've lost family members, I've lost mother, I've lost daddy, I've lost two of my brothers. You know, so how do you react to that? How do you go on? So I don't say to people, oh, woe is you. And that's really important. It means a lot to people. They don't feel like you're just handing them something on a silver platter, that they're doing it for themselves. And that's very important.
It is, because we need to be encouraged.
Yeah.
We need hope.
Yeah.
We need all these things to be successful. And sometimes I think when you're a senior, because I'm a senior, I'm 60 years old.
You're just a baby.
But I'm proud of it, because I know my life has brought me a long way. But it was my determination, like you said, to succeed.
That's right.
To be the first in my family to go to college.
And to do it for other people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
that's kind of like me being a high school dropout and going to college. I was
share
just like,
about that.
oh my gosh, I was just such fear of failure. And I didn't even know I had that until I got some training. So I just took like one class, then I take 2 classes, and then I take 3 classes. And come to find out later on that I didn't even have to take an SAT or an ACT, because I had all these transfer hours.
So you had just uplifted yourself without even
knowing it. Yeah.
That's being pro-productive.
And you would have probably gotten a real kick out of me going to taking studies, private studies through the New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary, sitting with all these pastors.
Oh.
That wasn't very popular back then.
No. When was that?
Gosh, that's been 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You have a lot to share, not only as a community director, program director, but as a lifelong productive woman. And
Well, thank you,
I'm
Lynn.
very happy to meet you, and I've heard wonderful things about you, and they're all true. I already know that. Now,
Well, you're just so good at this. That's what it is.
Well, I enjoy talking with people.
So
That's
would it
part
be
of
all
my
right if I just
passion.
say something to the audience?
Please do.
It's very important to me that no one listening is given any false hope about coming on this program, because I'm really booked up. I'm over enrolled, but help me help people get jobs, and then come on in here anyway, and let's try to help you any way that we can. May not get you on the program, but look, if you need a job, let me help you do that. We're having a really big job expo on the 31st of March, and it'll be at the Martin Luther King Library. Meet me there at 11 o'clock.
That's good. So I thank you for that. Just a few more questions. What other services do you offer through the AARP program?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you, it goes right back to the individual again. Because I may need to refer people to get food stamps. I may need to refer people to Social Security. I may need to refer them to SSI. You know, whatever that person's need is, what I'm going to refer them to, in addition to what we give them and provide for them. Because after all, your human needs have got to be met first. I can send you out to some of these stores and get you some outfits, you know, and pull in some coupons to get that done. So that's part of who we are and what we do.
Okay. I think you've explained that real well. Now, you mentioned that you also have worked with the youth.
Yeah.
I'd just like you to share on.
I've
touch on
ran
that.
a Boys and Girls Club. I've run so many things like that with young people, and probably learned a lot more from the young people today. The biggest thing I've learned is the college students now are being taught some things that I don't agree with, and that is that they're being taught to be aggressive and overpowering, and I think they need to be taught be humble. So I've learned a lot about what's going on in the world by looking at that.
Yeah, staying humble is
Yeah,
more
and I've done
productive.
Big Brothers and Big Sisters back in Jackson, Mississippi, and enjoyed doing that. So we ended up with more matches than the agency had ever had before,
Wow.
and wrote some grants for some senior workers and senior aides and things like that. So those are some of the things that I've really enjoyed.
Renaissance woman, volunteer,
Yeah.
mother,
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah. In fact, we celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary in July this year.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He has put up with me a long time.
That's and congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. It's very important. Sandra, you believe in hard work and integrity. What do you say to motivate our older citizens today?
They've got to motivate themselves. They've got to stop watching the TV all the time and put something positive into their life. To go join a class of doing something, if it's craft work, if it's volunteering for somebody, anything other than being drugged down by everything that's on TV. Years ago, I told my mother, quit watching the news all day long every day, because that's really, it hurts your ego, it hurts your psyche, it's not good for you. So you need to do something to build yourself up, to motivate yourself.
A hand up, not a hand
That's
out.
right.
That's right. What, now, have you heard of the Women's March recently in Washington, D.C.?
No, I have not. I'm so
Oh,
sorry, because I have been
that's
so
okay.
sick. It's like I'm telling you, this is almost like my first day back yesterday. So I've missed out on a lot of stuff. I really have.
Well, I just want to share briefly with you. It was women marching for our rights not to be forgotten with our new administration.
Well, nobody's going to forget my rights.
Mine either.
So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. And I can tell you that AARP wants to make sure that everyone is taken care of, regardless of the age or sex. You know, so I really appreciate what they're doing. Of course, I cannot talk politics
No,
because
I
I'm paid
can't.
by federal government. But I do want you to know, I really do believe that everybody has a right to do what's right in America. They don't have a right to do what's wrong in America.
Okay, Sandra, now everyone uses AARP or AARP. What does that stand for? And could you share
sure,
more
I'll be
on
glad
that?
to. AARP originally stood for American Association of Retired Persons. And then they just started calling it AARP. And now they don't care if they call it American Association of Retired Persons. AARP is our mothership. We are the foundation. We're the 501c3, and AARP has over 17 different foundations. They're over $1 billion business operation. So it's something to be a part of, something that big. And then I believe you wanted to ask me something a moment ago, and I interrupted you about the Big Brothers and Big Sisters,
Yes.
or Boys and Girls Clubs.
Please share that.
Our participants are sent back out into the community to do community service, and our grant pays them to do that at minimum wage, 20 hours a week. And we have over 100 host agencies that we serve that way. And one of them in the past, right now is not active, is the Boys and Girls Clubs. And so our individuals really love to go out and work with the young people. So we were talking about it, made a phone call to them to reestablish it again, and I have a volunteer who's coming in 3 days a week just calling old host agencies back to ask them if they're interested in getting involved again.
Oh, that's good information. But tomorrow, March 8th, is a day without a woman.
I heard that on the radio.
What would AARP senior program be without a day without this woman?
Well, it would be really rough, because everybody in here is, except for the gentleman at the front, is a woman. And so we wouldn't be able to serve our people that are on our program. And everybody who is in here working is a participant on the program in training. So, you know, this little old director is the only one paid by AARP, except for I've just received permission in the last, since October, to have an assistant director. So after 16 years, it was nice to have an assistant.
I guess so. Well deserving.
Yeah.
Sandra Wagner, any closing comments in our last few minutes?
Nothing other than what I had just said about, come on, let us help you any way we can. It may not be on the program, because there's so many people out there. We have over 100 people just in Denver alone that are on the interest list. So we're not going to turn anybody away. Just come to that job fair. We'll meet together.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Lynn.
I
My
enjoyed our
pleasure.
time
Thank
together.
you.
And thank you for joining us on Farm More, Colorado.
Far More Colorado is a public affairs interview program highlighting people of interest to Coloradans. The program has guests from our state government, and we also feature a wide variety of other guests who are making a difference here in Colorado.